Anime has its own distinctive styles, translation issues, distribution methods, and Japanese cultural references.
These are the techniques that go into making anime worth considering as a whole medium itself.
Many are common, and some you've probably seen before in a number of occasions, but don't know what it was called or what it was used for.
So let's explore the top 15 anime techniques.
This is the top 15 anime techniques. Number 15. Fall over fault.
When shocked or surprised, often by an absurdity, the listener may fall over onto their face, their limbs in a twisted mass above them. In its typical form, the character in question has just heard someone else say something so incredibly stupid that it quite literally floors them. Frequently, this action is depicted using a single pronounced frame transition. Usually, no one is harmed by taking a flying dive face first into the ground, but a less expressive equivalent would be the facepalm.
Number 14. Cupid doll surprise.
Female anime characters, when surprised, shocked, or threatened, will frequently throw their arms in the air at a 45-degree angle, just like a Cupid doll. It can take two forms. Either the character doing it will freeze into a tableau, or she'll flap her arms up into the Cupid doll pose and down again. This style is largely confined to comedy series.
Number 13. Fangtooth.
For maximum cuteness, at least one fang will be visible at all times, even when the character's mouth is closed. This seems to indicate, generally, a character who is mischievous, slightly hostile, or a trickster, without actually being a bad guy. Fang teeth are pretty much a standard feature of the cat girls, and many other animal-type people.
Number 12. Grayscale.
In anime, certain characters turn grayscale with sudden jagged outlines around them. This symbolises shock or terror, inability to move. These events are always played for comedy, and characters once in grayscale are unresponsive or completely frozen in place, sometimes with blank white eyes.
Number 11. Speed strikes.
In animated shows, characters moving at high speed often appear in front of a set of moving colored lines. This is usually done because drawing a proper background moving behind the character would require drawing a large background from a camera angle which would only be seen for a split second, which would require a lot of unnecessary work. The direction of the lines indicates the direction. If lines seem to be coming from a central point, that's because the character is moving toward or away from the screen.
Number 10. Cute crying.
Most girls do not look pretty when they cry. Their eyes puff up and turn red, their face becomes all splotchy, so tears are rarely attractive. But in anime, it's different. Perhaps she has been emotionally cold one time too many to the hero's affections, or too damn cruel over the smallest of mistakes. There is an inexplicable phenomena that the tougher a character is, the more adorable they will be when a sparkling stream of tears pour out of their eyes. It proves that they have souls. The tyrant instantaneously becomes the wooby, whose endearing, vulnerable sobs and pleas for sympathy makes the coldest of hearts want to hug them till they feel better. Occasionally, these moments act as a road stop, a turning point in which the characters start to slowly become a better person.
Number 9. Silly knee gesture.
A self-inflicted version of the dope slap. This is when a character hits himself softly on the head, winks after tripping, dropping, or doing some other mistake in acknowledgement of their blooper. Another gesture that is used in similar circumstances but conveys a somewhat different image is the hand behind the head, a common habit that I do in real life when I've done something stupid, probably because I've watched far too many animes.
Number 8. Blue shade.
If something truly traumatic occurs to an anime character, or they are mortified or embarrassed beyond all reckoning, the upper half of their face, or even all of it, may turn blue, at least until they recover. It is usually used for comedic effect and not in actually serious situations. The implication is that one is so surprised that they can't breathe, and therefore subsequently turn blue from lack of oxygen.
Number 7. Blank white eyes.
When shocked or stunned emotionally, mentally, or physically, the character's eyes are briefly replaced by blank white discs with sloppily scrawled black borders around them. This is a relatively recent trope, with all shows using it having shown up within the past decade. In even more recent media, this trope has seen a much wider range of uses, ranging from the function of making a character look funny, to simply depicting eyes on a character too far away to be drawn in detail.
Number 6. Chibi.
An artistic style in anime that is generally considered both cutesy and humorous, in which a character is rendered in a shorter, rounder form, somewhat resembling a caricature of themselves as a plump toddler. Although most commonly used in parody or as a part of a promotional material, it can be found in some shows at points of extreme comedy slapstick or when characters are seen to be acting extremely cute or immature. It is also known as chibi, which is Japanese for small, and it's not confined to just anime. It's a very common form seen in fan art as well.
Number 5. Blushing.
When embarrassed, aroused, or otherwise deeply affected emotionally, in anime, a character who is basically innocent will exhibit a dark red blush just under her eyes, usually crossing the bridge of their nose. Turning away from the object of said blush and putting their hand to their cheeks is optional. As well as this, the background may become a glowing pink colour, with little hearts, clouds, or flowers, or so on. In times of severe effect, they may tuck themselves into a little ball while blushing.
Number 4. Visible side.
Relegated mainly to lighter anime, the visible side is a little white cloud that appears near and moves away from the mouth of a person sighing. It is also used to symbolise heavy breathing after exertion.
Number 3. Angry cross.
When angry or outraged, a red cross intersection never fails to appear on an anime character's forehead. Occasionally, if the character gets mad enough, extra crosses will appear in the air around them. Also, there are absolutely no regulations when it comes to the size of it. Usually limited to comedic anime, some mangas have started putting them in speech bubbles, and they have also appeared in anime-influenced Western animation.
Number 2. Weeping and extreme crying.
Weeping is shown when a character is embarrassed or is lost in an event. It is also to highlight that the character is sad in a funny way, but not emotionally to the point of really crying. It is usually visible as a character's eyes are closed with whitish blue streaks down their face. It's mostly depicted in comedic animes. Extreme crying is when a girl or emotional guy has been upset and cries with such force that fountains of water eject from their eyes, rather like geysers. In some animes, tears with sufficient force are shown that they become a visible trail in the air, sometimes sparkling like a gem.
Number 1. Sweat drop.
Confusion, exasperation, embarrassment, and similar emotions manifest as an unusually large sweat drop that appears on the temple or back of the head. Sometimes the drop sweat symbol can even apply to a group of people as well. Either a gigantic sweat drop appears somewhere in the middle of the crowd, or a few big drops are scattered around. Blue lines are used as sweat drops as well, instead of the usual sweat drop.